Okay, Italy 5, Kilo Alpha, I think Tango, or was that Papa? Is that our friend who always uses QRP? Franco, is that Franco? You just come up, Franco. If it's you, you just come up. Is that Italy 5, Kilo Alpha Papa, QSL? Thank you, Franco. Should have guessed it was you. Italy 5, Kilo Alpha Papa. This is Mike 0, Juliet Charlie Foxtrot. Franco, the best I give you today, 4 and 1. I heard your last transmission, 4 and 1. A very, very weak, very difficult today. But thank you for calling me. It's been a long time since we've worked, Franco. In fact, I'll tell you, the last time we worked, I'll just check, QRZ, Italy 5, Kilo Alpha Papa. And I know you love your QRP. Yes, our last time was in June. Our last time was in June of this year. But before that, it was 2022. But we do go back a long way, Franco. We go right back to the year 2020. And you always work QRP, but just not working today. A little bit quiet, but thank you. Take care. I say grazie mille and addio amico mio. Take care. Ciao, ciao. Yeah, ciao, ciao, old friend. Very difficult. Just 4 and 1. When you called in, though, way low. You are 1 and 1 to a 2 and 1. But we have you in the logbook today, 4 and 1. Good luck, old friend. Bye bye. Okay, CQDX, 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 CQDX on 10. This is Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie, Fox. Negative copy. QRZ, QRZ, Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie, Foxtrot, southeast of England.
Delta Hotel 8, Hotel Alpha Bravo.
Okay, I've got Delta something 8. Ending Bravo. Apologies, sir. Once more, please.
Yes, no problem. It's Delta Hotel 8, Hotel Alpha Bravo. I repeat, Delta Hotel 8, Hotel Alpha Bravo. Good morning.
Dankeschön. Good morning, sir, and thank you for clarifying the call sign. Delta Hotel 8, Hotel Alpha Bravo. I have you now. Peaking 5 and 5. You were peaking 5 and 5 to me. Little bit of QSB. Keep dropping you down to the floor. But my name is Mark. That's Mike Alpha Romeo Kilo. And I'm just 20 kilometres southeast from the city of London in the town of Sidcup. I'll spell that, Sierra India Delta, Charlie Uniform Papa. And as I say, you were just peaking 5 and 5 to me with QSB downwards. So we've now got you, and I know who you are. Back to you, sir. Delta Hotel 8, Hotel Alpha Bravo. This is Mike 0, Juliet Charlie Foxtrot.
Yeah, good morning. You have 57 to 58 here in Stur, the city near Bremen. Stur near Bremen. You have 5.7 to 5.8, but lots of QC. You are just fading away while I'm I have a very good copy of your transmission. So yeah, what can I tell you? We have overcast weather conditions and it's getting a little bit warmer, so maybe that's the reason 5-10 meters are opening. Mike, back to you.
Yeah, DH8, HABM0, JCF. Well, Andre, thank you for the information. Yeah, I can confirm there is a big QSB on the signal. Short skip signals today are big QSB. The DX, not so much. So I'm wondering if we have some unusual sporadic E. It's possible we have unusual E-layer propagation today. You are swinging from a 5 and 5 down to a 4 and 1. So a big swing. I'm using IC-7300 by ICOM. I'm using a 5/8 wave of vertical antenna. I am transmitting maximum power from this radio, which is around about 100 watts. And a Whiskey X-ray today, it's not a bad day today. We have broken clouds. We had rain overnight, and there is a chance that it may rain today, but that's England. We always have rain in England, Andre. DH8, HABM0, JCF.
Yeah, Mike, 0 Julius Charlie Foxtrot from DH8. Yeah, what you are telling me sounds legit. Already he would explain it exactly, because yeah, as we are talking, you are swinging from, I can always really copy you, so you have always a 5, but 5-4, 5-3, 5-7, 5-8. I'm operating 100 watts on the Kenwood CS2000 and horizontal dynamic. So yeah, Mike, back to you, and I hope he also can say 73 to you and have good luck. Maybe I can hear you or maybe not.
Absolutely fantastic. Wunderbar, Andre. Yeah, I can hear you. They say the transmission is up and down. Very interesting short skip between us today. And I really thank you for staying with me and joining in. It's always interesting. Even when I'm calling DX, I still talk to what I call local people in Europe. It's not a problem at all. But I wish you and the family very best 73, Andre. And I say alles gut, mein Freund, and 73, and Dankeschön, auf Wiedersehen.
Yeah, 73, Dankeschön, auf Wiedersehen, good luck, and yeah, happy DXing. I hope you will get some more interesting content. Already he is always a funny thing.
Yeah, okay, just losing you there on the QSB, no problem. I got your sign off, and thank you very much. QRZ, Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie, Foxtrot, southeast of England. Nothing is heard. CQ, DX, Foxtrot, Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie, Foxtrot, Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie, Foxtrot, calling DX on 10.
Radio Alpha 9, Foxtrot, Uniform Echo.
Yeah, Radio Alpha 9, Foxtrot, Uniform Echo. Thank you for calling me today. My name is Mark, Mike Alpha Romeo Kilo, and I am in the southeast of England, about 20 kilometres southeast from the city of London. You're calling, you were about 5 and 3. You was about a 5 and 3, but I will update you, sir. Back to you, Radio Alpha 9, Foxtrot Uniform Echo. This is Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie, Foxtrot.
Mexico 0, Juliet, Charlie, Foxtrot, Radio Alpha 9, Foxtrot, Uniform Echo. Mark, Good morning, good day. My name is Vlad, today CQ10m. Березники, Перм, 40 километров, 200 километров, 200 километр от Перми. My airport 5959, over.
Yeah, thank you, Vlad, and thank you for calling me today. I see on the map, Vlad, you are 3,570 kilometers, 2,218 miles. I will call that DX. That's good DX for us today, I think. Your signal is peaking 5 and 6, Vlad. Your signal peaking 5 and 6. Today, Vlad, I'm using an IC-7300 by ICOM. I'm using 100 watts and my antenna is a 5/8 wave vertical. So I'm using a vertical antenna, Vlad. Back to you.
Mexico 0, Juliet, Charlie Foxtrot, Radio Alpha 9, Foxtrot information. Моя антенна Робинсон, 3 элемент, трансивер FT950, over.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic, Vlad. And your signal very stable. Your signal is very stable. Your antenna is working very, very well. Whiskey X-ray today, Vlad. We have some clouds, broken clouds, some small blue sky, and it's quite warm. We have about 15 degrees Celsius. That's the story, Vlad. Back to you.
Mexico 0, Juliet, Charlie Foxtrot, Radio Alpha 9, Foxtrot information. Mark 73, ciao, пока-пока.
Vlad, I say spasiba and das bedanya, baka baka, 73, good luck. CQ, CQ, CQDX, 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 CQDX. This is Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie Foxtrot, Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie Foxtrot, Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie Foxtrot, calling DX on 10. CQ, CQ, CQDX, CQ, CQ, CQDX, CQDX on 10. This is Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie Foxtrot, Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie Foxtrot, Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie Foxtrot, calling DX on 10.
Kilowatt X-ray 3 Charlie, Kilo X-ray 3 Charlie.
Yeah, Kilo X-ray 3 Charlie, very good morning to you. Not the strongest signal from United States at this moment, but we'll get you in the logbook, no problem. The name this side is Mark, that's Mike Alpha Romeo Kilo, and I'm 15 miles southeast of the city of London in the county of Kent. So I'll give you some more details on the next over, but Kilo X-ray 3 Charlie, this is Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie Foxtrot.
Yeah, good afternoon, good morning. I think it's good afternoon, I'm not sure. Anyway, the name here is Lee Echo. I'm in the state of Pennsylvania. We're about 5 and 7 right now, 5 and 7. Nice signal, so I thought I'd give you a call while I could. Anyway, Mark running about 1,000 mark here, and the radio is a flex radio. Mike 0, Juliet, with a Charlie Fox, Kilo X-ray 3 Charlie.
Yeah, Kilo X-ray 3 Charlie, M0JCF returning. Okay, Lee in Pennsylvania. Yeah, no problems, mate. That 1 kilowatt is doing a good job. Well, you're saying a good job. You're giving me 5 and 3, but I don't know. It's weird that I always seem to give a report a few S points lower than the report that I receive. So I'm just wondering if my antenna is a little bit deaf. I'm using a 5/8 wave vertical antenna, so I'm not using anything sophisticated whatsoever, just an old CB radio antenna that I shortened very slightly for 10 meters. I'm using an SDR radio. I'm using an IC-7300, and I'm only pushing 10 dB down on you, about 100 watts from the radio. So I'm very happy to be giving you the 5 and 7. Just wondering what antenna that you're feeding there with the 1 kilowatt and the flex radio, Lee. Back to you, KX3C M0 JCF.
Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can still hear you, no problem.
Alright, yeah. I'm running here. My antenna, by the way, Mark, it's an opti beam. It's a 9-element opti beam at about 50 feet, and running the flex 6600, and the amplifier is a Aircraft KPA 1500. I'm still running 1 kilowatt plus about 1100 watts. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, it's interesting propagation then, because you peaked 5 and 7, and there's a big QSB swing. It went from 5 and 7 back down to 5 and 3, so 1100 watts. I think the antenna is probably doing all of the heavy lifting for us both on the receive and the transmit. But it's an interesting setup and an interesting propagation. I don't know if you heard the propagation I had. The last contact was Asiatic Russia at just over 2,200 miles. And back in your direction, there's not a lot in it. What are you? You've got to be about 3,000 miles away, I would say. So, yeah, interesting propagation across the Atlantic. But it was very similar to the propagation I was getting across Europe and central Russia. Back to you.
Yeah, okay, Mark. Well, you went from 5 and 6 to 5 and 0. You're right down in the noise level with me now with the fading going on. So there's not a hell of a lot we can do about it except wait for the band to get better. But I'm glad to hear you on this morning. Mike 0 Juliet, Charlie Fox, Kilo X-Ray 3 Charlie.
Yeah, Kilo X-Ray 3 Charlie M0 JCF. Just checked on the map. You're 3,600 miles. So actually, you're 1,500 miles further west than the last contact was east. Well, it is what it is. I think we've had some good propagation the last couple of days. I know over the weekend the propagation appeared to be fantastic, but I think that's because it was a competition weekend, and the world and his dog, as they say, was on their radios. So I think there was the propagation may not have been any better. It's just that there were so many people on from so many diverse countries. It just seemed that way. I think the furthest west that I made it in your direction was Arizona, possibly California. California might have been before the weekend, but I know I definitely worked a few stations in Arizona and Texas west ways, but that's as far as I made. But there was some good propagation down to the Caribbean, and there was good propagation down into the Indian Ocean. I blagged a few new countries for me. I've only been licensed since 2017. I've been a shortwave listener and a pirate since the mid-70s, but that doesn't count, obviously. But it was good for me. I don't normally get involved in competitions, but the big one at the weekend, it just seemed churlish not to get involved, so I did. Maybe for selfish reasons, just to pick up those extra countries. I think I made 6 new countries in my logbook, Lee. Back to you.
Yeah, well, you're doing very good, Mark, on the radio. I can understand how past weekend there was so much on the air, gave me a headache, so I made some contacts, but nothing highly unusual. I worked most of the countries over your way in Europe, and a few in South America. Basically all the countries in the Caribbean, but nothing that I hadn't heard before because of all the strong country. By the way, Mark, I spent that part of my life in your country. My wife is from North Yorkshire, so I did spend some time up there, and I've worked about 6 years in Bedfordshire, and about 20 years up in Yorkshire, so, you know, eventually comes to something. Well, I still do, but anyways, Mark, I'm going to let you make some more contacts, and I'll see what I can do. Charlie Fox, Kilo X-ray, Blue Charlie.
Yeah, KX3CM0JCF. Well, absolutely fantastic, and I'm glad you called me, Lee. I've just checked QRZ. I was just about to log you in QRZ, and we worked a year ago, and in my notes, we was on 12 metres. I was doing a CQ12. You answered me on 12 metres, and in my notes, I put we had a 10-minute rag chew. So it looks like we've done it again a year later. So we've done 12 metres last year, last October. We've done 10 metres this October. So next October, please look for me on 15 metres, and we'll do it all again. I'm sure we'll work in between there. So I'm very pleased to get you in the logbook on a new band today. That's the beauty of QRZ. If I was going through paper logbooks, I'd never know. And of course, I don't collect QSL cards anymore, so I would never know. Anyway, the QSB's dragging your signal from a peak of 5 and 7 and dropping you down to about a 4 and 1. It's absolutely fantastic. But as I say, great to get you in the logbook, and I'm sure we'll say hello again. Always look out for me on 10 and 12, Lee, and we'll chew the fat again. You take care. 73 to everyone around you, and until the next time, I say goodbye for now. Take care.
Everything is safe for next year, 15 meters. I'll catch you on 15 next year. 73, thanks for the contact, Mark.
You're more than welcome. I look forward to it. I'll put it in my diary. You take care. Goodbye. QRZ, Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie Foxtrot, southeast of England.
Kilo 6, Bravo, Tango.
Yeah, Kilo 6, Bravo Tango. Very good audio from you. I didn't see the meter, but I know it's going to be relatively good. The name is Mark, Mike Alpha Romeo Kilo, and I'm in the southeast of England, 15 miles southeast of the city of London itself. And I'll give you some details on the next over, plus your proper report. Kilo 6, Bravo Tango, Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie Foxtrot.
Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie Foxtrot from Kilo 6, Bravo Tango. Good afternoon, Mark. Nice to hear you on 10 meters. You have an excellent signal, 5 and 8, 58 here in my state of South Carolina. I'm located in the southeast part of South Carolina, about 2 kilometers from the Atlantic Ocean. Mark, my name is Wayne. Whiskey Alpha Yankee November Echo. Wayne is my name. Over.
Yeah, Wayne, Kilo 6, Bravo Tango, down there in South Carolina. Well, and I'm pleased that you gave me a 5 and 8, because I'll be pleased to tell you you're peaking around 5 and 9, just hitting the 9, and averaging out about 5 and 7, I suppose. There is a little bit of QSB, as I was just telling your countrymen just a few moments ago. But you got a great audio. As I say, it was the audio that caught me. I wasn't looking at the radio when you called in, and I thought, yeah, that's a classic DX audio, you know. Even if your signal drops down to a Santiago 1, I know I'm going to hear you. But yeah, I'm in the county of Kent. I'm going to say about 15 miles southeast of the city of London. Today I'm using, Wayne, I'm using the IC-7300, which is a bit odd for me in some respects. I know I've got one, so I should use it, but I've got lots of old radios as well, and quite often I'm CQing using old radios and making it hard work for my ears, because this radio has got such superior noise cancelling qualities, etc. But that aside, about 100 watts or whatever comes out of the back of the radio. I haven't got an external meter on it at the moment, and the antenna's a 5/8 wave of vertical, so not a lot of gain on it. They quote in the book 3 dB, but I'd even question that. So I'm probably putting about 100 watts, maybe a bit more your way, ERP. And that's the story. A big old ramble over. Back to you, KK6 BTM0 JCF.
Roger, roger, Mark. Well, your equipment is putting out a great signal. You must have a number of radios under your vertical to be putting out such a good signal. It certainly sounds good here in the States. I'm using an Elecraft K3, about 1,000 watts from my amplifier to a 5-element Yagi made by OptiBeam that's about 33 meters above the ground. Those are my operating conditions. Well, so far the sun is not up yet. It's still very dark outside, but we're expecting a beautiful day today, sunny, and a temperature of about 22 degrees. So we're looking forward to a very pleasant day. I hope you're having a good day. Over.
Yeah, having a fantastic day, Wayne. Well, yeah, I know the sunrise will be quite sudden as well. We quite often, my wife and I, go to Florida, and whereas in England we get a sunrise that's sort of gradual and a sunset that's gradual, we did notice that, you know, the further south that we go, it becomes more abrupt. But we're just still in morning here. We've now switched over to Greenwich Mean Time. We switched over at the weekend from British summertime, so you know we've gone back an hour on the daylight saving. 11:43 at the moment in the morning, so we are still in morning. Interestingly, you're using a K3 with 1 kilowatt and a 5-element OptiBeam. The person I was speaking to before, Lee in Pennsylvania, was also using a 1 kilowatt. He was using a flex radio, and he was using a 9-element OptiBeam. Now he was peaking 5 and 7 with QSB down to 5 and 3 and sometimes lower. You know, with your setup, and you are like another 500 miles further than he is. I'd say probably 600 miles further. And yeah, you've got an appreciably bigger signal, and you're using I suppose an antenna possibly with less gain. It's 5 elements. I know his one was 9 elements, but I don't know if that was a monobander, so I didn't ask him actually. But it's interesting you're both using a kilowatt, but although the distance is further for you, you've got an appreciably bigger signal. Well, I'll give you the Whiskey X-ray here because I can see what the weather's doing. It did rain overnight, but we've got a high pressure moving in from the southwest, and it looks like we're just coming into some good weather for the next couple of days. The possibility of showers. We've got broken clouds now today. As I say, it's a lovely day out. Went out dog walking earlier this morning. My wife's a registered childminder, and the schools are on their like a winter break or an autumn break for a week. So she's got 2 of the children that she looks after when they're not at school, and they're downstairs baking brownies, I believe. So it's you know, it's nice. It gave me a time to sort of just dive out and use the radio for a short time, and just call out CQ10m, see what comes out of the woodwork, and here you are. So KK6 BTM0 JCF.
Roger, roger. Your signal dropped down just a little bit. I think we have some QSB. Interesting comments about the signal strength between the 2 stations. I've been doing this a long time, and I still am amazed by propagation and how sometimes I'm loud in Europe and sometimes I'm not so loud. It's far beyond me to understand all the intricacies of HF propagation, but I wish I understood more. It's fascinating to follow the signal path and think we're bouncing off the ionosphere and then intersecting into England. That's amazing to me. despite all the years I've been doing it, every time I work a new station, I think it's really something to behold. I'm enjoying reading your QRZ.com page, and it looks like you have some beautiful old equipment. I bet it's fun to operate and dust the cobwebs off, so to speak, and give a chance to give some old equipment some new life. That must be fun for you. Over.
Yeah, I can tell you that is a lot of fun. To be honest, I've got a lot of old radios that need a lot of attention, and just lately I haven't been given those radios the attention that they need to do the operating. The TS830S, probably my favourite vintage radio. I've repaired that twice in the last few months. I think, you know, just it's an ongoing rolling situation. You know, you replace a few capacitors and that will then highlight or put a strain on something else somewhere else. But no, that one's been behaving quite well just lately. The KW equipment, I've used a few of the radios. Now, I have got rid of some of them, but I still have an Atlanta and a KW2000B. The Atlanta does need some work. I have been using it though, but it does need some work. The 2000B likewise. The Swan 350, which is what the Atlanta was based on, but the Swan 350 I haven't actually used. I've got to be honest there. I bought it several years ago and haven't used it. The Yaesu stroke Summer Camp, I've had problems with the transmitter on that pairing. I was using it just a little while ago, and then it decided to just quit on me. It powers up, but the transmit power dropped from about 150 watts down to 0. So there was a little bit of magic smoke. I did notice it. But I can't see anything obvious, so that needs more in-depth analysis. And then, yeah, just old radios. I just love them, and part of it, Wayne, is the fact that when I was a youngster, when I discovered DXing, shortwave listener DXing, and building crystal sets of regenerative receivers, I started that 1974, just as I started my senior school at age 11. And, you know, all of those old radios that I used to have back then, you know, you could get them for nothing. People were throwing them away. The AR88, the B40D, the CR100 by Marconi. You know, I had so many of these old boat anchors that nobody wanted. And so they would come my way. I'd use them for a while. Then the next one would come. So I'd get rid of the previous one, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, when I retired 2 years ago, and what I tried to do was buy, before I retired, was buy these old radios from my past, just so that I would have them to work on in retirement years. As I say, I haven't been doing a lot of working on them, but that is part of the reason I've got these big old boat anchors. I bought, just probably 2 years ago, I bought an AR88. It's in quite poor shape cosmetically, but electrically it seems to be really sound. But, you know, I'm going to put it on a Variac one day and wind it up and just try to, bring back that magic of when the 1970s, when I was a shortwave listener, when, broadcast stations were absolutely everywhere. Everyone would QSL without question. I used to listen to hams, and hams would QSL because they were happy to get shortwave listener reception reports, that sort of thing. And I just tried to bring back a bit of that magic. I'm sure you know what I mean. But, I've got a few of these old boat anchors. I will get onto them. I know, shortwave listening has changed, but there's plenty out there. And of course, you can always have the excitement of using a separate receiver and a separate transmitter, especially as I like to homebrew a bit. So I've got a few projects on the go, a few transmitter projects on the go, and I'd like to sort of, use those transmitters in combination with those old receivers. I hope that makes sense. Another long rambling over from me. KK6 BTM0 JCF.
M0 JCF from KK6BT. Fascinating. You bring back very fond memories. I also was a shortwave listener when I was in my 10, 11, 12 years old and on up. I really enjoyed listening to the international broadcasts of some of the countries and sending in QSL cards and receiving cards from them. And that was really, really exciting. I enjoyed doing that more than my homework, unfortunately. So my grades probably suffered as a consequence. But like I say, you bring back very good memories. Well, thank you so much for the conversation. Thank you for the explanation of your beautiful old equipment. It sounds like you've got plenty to keep you busy during your retirement years, restoring them, and I'm sure you'll have a lot of satisfaction from taking something that doesn't work and turning it into a receiver that will actually work. I really appreciate the conversation. A little early for me. I think I'm stumbling over my words a little bit. I haven't had my first cup of coffee, so I think I'll go do that, but wake up just a little bit more. But it's been really fun meeting you and chatting with you, and thank you so much for the conversation. M0 JCF from KK6BT.
Yeah, KK6 BTM0 JCF. Well, no, I appreciate you coming back to me. You know, sometimes you know yourself, you can call CQ, you can call CQDX, etc. And absolutely nothing will happen for, you know, you can be calling 15 minutes and nothing will happen. That's the nature of the beast. And then afterwards, you know, it becomes like a train, one after the other. But I'm not a traditional 5 and 9 73 type of person. I do like a rag tube, Wayne, and you know, it doesn't matter how limited sometimes those rag tubes are. You know, the fact that you can actually have a conversation, and I know we talk a lot about the radios we've got and the weather that we've got and our location, what it's like, you know, and we move on. But sometimes, you know, you can go off on a tangent, and it's really quite nice, you know. I've talked about all sorts of diverse subjects with complete strangers across the Atlantic, you know, and it's really, really refreshing sometimes. My wife, for instance, doesn't get it. I've been with her 34 years, and she still doesn't understand my fixation with talking to complete strangers and making it hard work for myself when, you know, as she and others have pointed out, I could pick up a telephone, dial a random number and just talk to a complete stranger. They just don't get them. We love them with all their quirks. But go and get that coffee. I've had far too much today. I think I've had about 4 or 5 mugs of coffee already, and it's always fresh brew as well. So we've got another big jug of it downstairs awaiting my attention later on, but I'll wait for lunchtime, which will be in an hour or so. So you take care. Best 73. If you hear me again on 10 or 12 meters, come and say hello, Wayne, and we'll pick up where we left off. And hopefully you would have had your first cup of coffee of the day and the sun will be above the horizon. All the very best and good luck to you, and take care. KK6 BTM0 JCF. Cheers, mate.
It's been my pleasure. 7-3. Have a good afternoon and evening. Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye-bye and take care, Wayne. QRZ, Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie Foxtrot, southeast of England.
Field calls, Oscar India Mike.
Yeah, stand by OIM. Someone was just calling in, but they were right in the back of the box. The station calling, the DX station calling, Mike 0, Juliet Charlie Foxtrot. After my last conversation, you were right in the back of the box, as they say. You were bordering on a 1 and 1 to a 2 and 1, but the propagation has been up and down. So I have got the patience, and I will persist to try to get you in the logbook today. So the station calling, Mike 0, Juliet Charlie Fox, from DX land. This is M0JCF listening. No, nothing heard. Apologies, apologies, sir. Maybe another time we'll get you in the logbook. But G4 OIM, this is Mike 0, Juliet Charlie Foxtrot, southeast of England.
Hello, Mark. Nice to hear you. I've just come up from 12. Things are not particularly good today. I did have one contact on 12. That was with Papa Victor 8. But it was a struggle, Mark. It was a struggle. Certainly at the start, then he perked up towards the end. Wonder what you've been working. M0JCF, G4OIM, over.
Yeah, G4OIM, M0JCF. Well, it hasn't been too bad. I started calling, let's look back through my logbook. I started calling at 11. Mike 0, Juliet Charlie Foxtrot, calling DX on 10.
Echo America 7 Kilo Papa Guatemala.
Okay, 2 stations answered. 2 stations you did answer. Thank you. There was 1 station ending Guatemala. I will take you first, sir. I'll give you your report. Then I will find out who the other station was. But the station with Guatemala, please go ahead. And the name this side is Mark. Mike Alpha Romeo Kilo in the southeast of England. Station ending Guatemala. Please go ahead.
Okay, hello, good afternoon, my friend, Mike 0, Juliet Charlie Foxtrot, Echo America 7, Kilo Papa Guatemala, copy?
Yeah, Echo Alpha 7, Kilo Papa Guatemala, 5 and 9, you are a genuine 5 and 9 peak in the southeast of England. My name is Mark, Mike Alpha Romeo Kilo, and I'm 20 kilometres southeast from the main city, London. Today I'm using IC-7300, 100 watts, and my antenna is a vertical, 5/8 wave vertical. Back to you, EA7 KPG M0JCF.
Okay, Mark, 100% London en England. Using all 5959, no problem. Using all fantastic in my station. Andalucía, sur de Spain. My name Luis. Lima, Unifor, India, Sierra. Max, micrófono for you.
Yeah, thank you, Louise, and thank you for the 5 and 9. A very, very good short skip signal from you down there in Andalusia today. Well, okay, Louise, I say gracias, mi amigo. Gracias for this very short QSO. I will find out who the other station was, but look me up again. I wish you and your family 73, Louise, and you take care. Have a great day, and until the next time, gracias, mi amigo, and hasta la vista.
Ok, Mar, gracias a ti, un saludo y hasta la próxima, amigo. Transmitió Eco Alfa 7 Kilo Papa Gol. Chao, gracias mille.
Yeah, grazie mille. Take care, bye-bye. Who was the other station calling me, please? QRZ M0 JCF?
Papa Yankee 2, Mike Delta Foxtrot.
Yeah, Papa Yankee 2, Mike Delta Foxtrot. Thank you for your DX contact today, sir. My name is Mark. That's Mike Alpha Romeo Kilo. I'm in the southeast of England, about 20 kilometres southeast from the city of London. I'll give you your report on the next over, but you are readability 5, no problem. I'll give you your signal on the next over. So back to you, Papa Yankee 2, Mike Delta Foxtrot. This is Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Foxtrot.
Roger, good morning for you, my friend. I'm reporter for you 5-5 in this moment, okay? 5-5. My name is Marcelo. Roger,
Yeah, Marcelo, no problem. Thank you for the 5 and 5 today. You were 5 and 3, 5 and 4, but with the QSB dropping you down to 5 and 1 to a 4 and 1, Marcelo. No problem though. I have you in my logbook today as 5 and 3, Marcelo. 5 and 3. Thank you for the 5 and 5. Today, Marcelo, I'm using a simple antenna. 5/8 wave vertical antenna. I'm using 100 watts and my radio is the IC-7300. Back to you, PY2 MDF M0 JCF.
This moment I'm going for you in a Yaki, a 10 Yaki, 5 elements, okay, monoband 5 elements, and my single tip, I want to 0, and my power is 60 watts, yeah, very fine. Just very long antenna, 60 watts, Roger Mike.
Yeah, PY2 MDF M0 JCF. Well, thank you for telling me about your 5-element Yagi, Marcelo. It was working very well to begin, and now your signal just 3 and 1. Your signal 3 and 1. Big QSB on the signal. I won't hold it today, Marcelo, only because of the QSB, and it becomes difficult, and I don't want to lose you. But look for me again, Marcelo. Look for me again on 10 metres and 12 metres, and we'll log you again. But great contact today, and I thank you very, very much, and I say good luck, take care, and until the next time, can I wish you and your family 73 and thank you again. PY2 MDF M0 JCF.
Roger Mike, thank you very much for the contact, my friend. I wish to find you another time in a better condition, okay? Thank you to the contact. I wish for you a big good reaction and have a nice day. 73 miles. Bye-bye, my friend.
Absolutely fantastic, Marcelo. You take care, and 73. Good luck. QRZ, Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Foxtrot, looking for DX on 10.
United 5, Victor United Kilo.
Okay, Yankee United 5, Victor United Kilo. Very good morning to you, or good afternoon to you now, sir. Thank you for calling me. I'll give you a report on the next over. Your signal wasn't very strong, but I did hear you. But I'll give you your report on the next over. My name is Mark, Mike, Alpha, Romeo, Kilo, and I'm 20 kilometres southeast from the city of London. Over to you, Yankee Uniform 5, Victor Uniform Kilo, Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie Foxtrot.
No problem to copy you, very strong signal. You are picking 10 dBs over 9. You are picking 10 dBs over 9, very nice and strong. My name is Victor Uniform Kilo, like the suffix, and my QPH Southwest Park, Serbia. I'm working QRP. I'm working QRP with only 5 watts. Only 5 watts, and using an end-fed antenna, some 8 meters over the ground. Mike 0, Juliet Charlie Foxtrot, Yankee United 5, Victor United Kilo.
Okay, Yankee United 5, Victor United Kilo, Vuk down there in Serbia, southwest Serbia. Thank you for contacting me, QRP. Absolutely fantastic. You are 5 and 2. 5 and 2, Vuk. 5 and 2 with your 5 watts. I'm using a 5/8 wave, a vertical antenna, but your end-fed half wave and 5 watts. 5 and 2 to me. I understand I am 5 and 9 plus 10 to you. Vuk, I'm going to reduce my power to below 10 watts for you so we can work QRP 2 ways. So stand by, I'll reduce my power to below 10 watts and work you with QRP also. Stand by, old friend. Okay, Yankee Uniform 5, Victor Uniform Kilo. This is Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie Foxtrot, also QRP. How do you copy, Vuk?
Roger, yes, no problem to copy you. You are now 5 by 7. You are now 5 by 7. Very readable signal. No problem to copy you at all. Can you tell me?
Okay, I'm now down to about 3 watts, approximately 3 watts, and your signal came up to 5 and 5, Vuk. Your signal came up to 5 and 5. I'm now about 3 watts, maybe 2 watts. Back to you.
Roger. You are now 5 by 6, 5 by 6. That's around the level of the noise that I have at the moment. So, but no problem to copy you. Yes, you are still readable with your 3 to 5 watts. Can you tell?
Yeah, QSL, back up to nearly 100 watts now, but absolutely fantastic to work you with 3 watts or less, 5 and 6, very good, Vuk. Well, thank you for this test and this experiment today, Vuk. It's always good to work QRP stations, and sometimes I call QRP, sometimes if I'm working the station I will reduce my power, just because I think we should do it. We should always try it. It's only right. If you're calling me QRP, I also need to work QRP. It's fantastic to work you today, Vuk. And can I wish you and your family best 73. I'm going to make a few more calls, then I'm going to make myself some lunch, because I'm a big man, Vuk. I'm a big man and I need to eat my lunch very soon. But thank you for this contact. Very good and a pleasure to work you, QRP. Yankee Uniform 5, Victor Uniform Kilo. This is Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie Fox.
It was a pleasure to talk to you, and I hope to see you again on the band. Yes, it's always nice to work QRP to QRP. Have a nice lunch, and really hope to see you again. Best wishes to you and your family.
Yeah, 73, Vuk, and take care. Absolutely fantastic. And the end-fed half wave also working remarkably well on 10 metres. But my name is Mark. I'm 15 miles southeast of the city of London itself, down there in the southeast of England, using an IC-7300. I'm using just 100 watts and a 5/8 wave vertical. So I believe it's Kilo Echo 8, Victor Romeo Yankee. This is Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie Fox. Got my ears open for you. Okay, Kilo Echo 8, Victor Romeo Yankee. I believe that's Bruce in Ohio. Unfortunately, Bruce, if that is you, not really hearing what you're saying today. Between a 2 and 1 and a 3 and 1, as I say, I believe it's my receive antenna's probably a little bit deaf from you today. But thanks for calling in. Maybe another time, maybe even later. we'll be able to get you. I mean, I can get you in the logbook, no problem whatsoever. I just don't think I can hold a long QSO with you, given the conditions between us. But I do appreciate the call-in and look forward to a proper rag chew with you in the near future. Kilo Echo 8, Victor Romeo Yankee. This is Mike 0, Juliet Charlie Fox. Mike 0, Juliet Charlie Foxtrot. Mike 0, Juliet Charlie Foxtrot, calling CQDX on 10.
Kilo Delta 4, Alpha Whiskey India.
Okay, got the Kilo Delta 4. Kilo Delta 4, I think somebody may have doubled with you again, but the Kilo Delta 4, if you'd like to go again, once again, we'll try to get you in the logbook today. The Kilo Delta 4 again, please. My name is Mark, Mike Alpha Romeo Kilo, southeast of England. Over to you, sir.
Kilo Delta 4, Alpha Whiskey India. Good morning, Mark.
Yeah, good morning. Kilo Delta 4, Alpha Whiskey India. And got you about a 5 and 1, maybe a 5 and 2 on that last over. I'm just using a 5/8 wave, a vertical antenna, and it not seem to be doing me any big favours today, but we'll go with it. I'm using an IC-7300. And the antenna, the power output is about 100 watts from the back of the radio. So it looks like you're receiving me better than I'm receiving you. But I believe I've got John in North Carolina, but you can correct me on that, I'm sure. KD4 AWI M0 JCF.
Yes, M0 OCF. This is Kilo Delta 4. Alpha Whiskey India, John in Roll Hall, North Carolina, and good morning to you. And you are about a 5 and 5 here in North Carolina. QSL.
Yeah, thanks for that, John in North Carolina. Yeah, I've got you about a 5 and 3 peak, but when it comes up above Santiago 1, you got a great audio, what I would call a good DX audio. You know, it's very, very clear, very punchy. It's not heavy on the bass, great mid-range to it. So I'm hopefully that technical details will help you. As I say, I'm using just bog standard equipment here, the ubiquitous IC-7300. Normally I'd use one of my old vintage radios, but today I've gone a bit modern on everyone and say using a nice SDR radio. As I say, the antenna is probably the thing that's let me down on reception today, John. But you know, when you're clear, you're clear. Back to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Mark. Yeah, I'm using the ubiquitous 7300 also. Radio is the 718, which I have worked a lot all over the world with.
Okay, KD4AWIM0 JCF. Not sure if you've stopped, John. I heard you've got the ubiquitous IC-7300, and then I'm not sure if you stopped, but literally your signal was dropping as you were talking to me. So let's just see if you've come back. I'd like to know really the antenna that you're using, if possible, and maybe give me a little bit of chat about the weather or something, just to keep it going. Otherwise, I think it's going to be a bit of a strain today. This morning was very good. We're into mid-afternoon now. It's 3 p.m. But I was on a few hours ago talking to your countrymen on the northeast, and the signals were outstanding, but doesn't seem to be so good a few hours later. Back to you, KD4AWI M0 JCF.
We are sunny here and probably about 60 degrees outside. That's Fahrenheit. And, well, you know, I'll tell you about my antenna. I'm talking to you on a wire. It's an inverted L shape. There was a slope to it. And it does a pretty good job. I don't know why my signal fades must be conditions today. Over.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, the inverted V wire isn't doing a bad job, all things considered. Somebody has decided to park themselves very, very close to me. So on top of you, I'm also listening to Donald Duck, so it always happens. I try to pick these frequencies that are in between the traditional frequencies, like 355, 360. So I'll pick 357. Maybe that's my downfall, and people have sat, you know, sort of right on top of me. I tend not to go too low or too high up the band, because, you know, it people that don't have band scope, etc., they never spin the dial far enough. I know I've been guilty of that when I'm using my old TS830S or one of the other old radios I've got, especially the analog radios that don't even have a digital display. I tend to sort of stay around one area of about 100 kilohertz. So, you know, I'm just as guilty. But I've been looking at the band scope, and apart from slow scan TV on 28368 I'll start again. 28680. Apart from there, you know, the band is quite clear. But I'm also completely aware that I think your tech licenses, they don't go above 500, 28500. So I like to keep below that to give more, you know, myself more of a chance of pulling up the DX. A Whiskey X-ray here, a little bit of a dull day. We've had broken cloud. It was raining overnight, but we've had broken cloud, and we're about 15 degrees Celsius, which is about, I suppose, about 57 degrees Fahrenheit. So that's the story here, John. I hope you got all of that. KD4 AWI M0 JCF.
I appreciate that so much. It's really a pleasure to meet you and to talk with you. And you're an interesting person. And of course, I do have my extra class license, so I can use, you know, up above 500. But so I like to go down here 3 to 5. I find a lot more people for some reason. Listen, it's good to talk with you, and I'm going to get out of the way of anybody else that might be listening that wants to talk to you. And you have a wonderful day, and of course I know you're 4 hours ahead of me here. But anyway, you have a great day, and especially to you, my friend. This is Kilo Delta 4.
Yeah, KD4 AWI M0 JCF returning for that final. John, an absolute pleasure for you to come in to me. You dropped down to about a 4 and 1, a 3 and 1 thereabouts. The signals are up and down, but it's great to get you in the logbook anyway. And thanks for saying I'm an interesting person. I think you're one of the first to say that, so I don't know what that says about me, other people, but I'm sure everyone thinks the same. I'm sure I think I'm great, but that's me. That's what I think. I'm great. But all joking aside, best 73 to everyone around you. Hope the family are safe, well and happy, and look out for me again on 10 and 12 meters, and we'll put the world right on our next long QSO, I'm sure. But thanks for giving me the opportunity today. It's much appreciated. Take care, and best 73. CQ, CQ, CQDX, CQ, CQ, CQDX. Okay, nothing is heard. Apologies, old man. QRZ, QRZ, Mike, 0, Juliet, Charlie, Foxtrot, southeast of England. Okay, I got a Kilo Delta. Was there a Kilo Delta calling in?
Yeah, Kilo Delta 9 Zulu Bravo Delta.
Yeah, Kilo Delta 9, Zulu Bravo Delta. You were very clear to me this time, which is very nice to hear. The name this side is Mark, Mike Alpha Romeo Kilo. I'm in the southeast of England, about 15 miles southeast of the city of London in the county of Kent. And I'll give you a report on the next over. But needless to say, propagation is up and down. Anything could happen on your report. Back to you, sir.
Hey, roger that. This is Chuck here on this end, and I'm in Indiana. The northern part, I'm just a little bit south of Chicago. And we're having beautiful weather.
And the propagation's in and out, but I got a great copy on you. I got 5 and 9 on you. Give me your call sign on your return.
Yeah, KD9 ZBD. This is Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Foxtrot, the name of Mark in southeast of England. Thanks for the 5 and 9. You're peaking about 5 and 7 to me, but with a big QSB swing down to about 5 and 4, 5 and 5. And the propagation has been like that for the last few contacts from across the Atlantic. But yeah, you are nice and clear, Chuck. Got no problems with you there. Using a 5/8 wave vertical antenna. I'm using just 100 watts from the radio. And the radio itself is an IC-7300. Well, probably one of the most common radios around now. KD9, the ZBD M0 JCF.
Hey, Roger. I'm on a FTD 101D, and I'm on a straight vertical myself, and I'm hitting about 400 coming to you. I got your call sign MZJCF. I know I missed something. Help me out there, QSL.
I'm talking to someone, Millie. I'm talking to someone.
Kilo Delta 9, Zulu Bravo Delta.
Yeah, Kilo Bravo 9, Kilo Delta 9, Zulu Bravo Delta, M0 JCF for returning. You might hear him out of breath. Sorry about that, Chuck. My daughter was hammering on the door downstairs. She'd forgotten her key. And I had to drop the microphone and run. So apologies, I just missed the last over. And I couldn't say anything because you were in full flow. So back to you, sir.
Hey, Roger that. Things happen like that. Your call is M0ZJCF. QSL?
No, it's Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Foxtrot, M0 JCF.
Oh, Roger, get that Z out of there. 10-4.
Oh, so you got some CB talk as well. Don't tell me you were a trucker and you go back to the 23 channel days. Go back to you?
That's Roger. That's a Roger, yeah. QSL, that's Roger. I got you now, Mark. Got you in the log.
Yeah, that's absolutely fantastic. Well, you've got a stonking audio on you. It's very, very loud. It's like I tell people, it's a good DX audio. So, you know, it's nice and clear and really would cut through the noise even if your signal's really low. But just tell me, Chuck, what antenna are you using today? And if I may ask, how much power?
I'm using a 05 43-foot vertical. It's an amazing antenna. It's a great antenna. And I'm running about 400 watts, about 400 to you. And I got a 781 Heil mic hooked up to this FTDX 101D, and it seems to work real well. Over.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. As I say, vertical antennas, you know, a lot of people just lately have clocked on to this idea that 5/8 wave vertical antennas, now my one's 5/8 wave, it's about 22 feet long. And a lot of people have come to the idea, you know, they've got a very small footprint. And for those that have got very small properties, they're a good, I don't even think they're a compromise. That would be the wrong word. I think they're just an excellent antenna as, you know, monoband antennas go. But is your one 3/4 wave? I think you said it was 43 feet long, or did I get that wrong? Was that the height above the ground? Back to you.
Roger that. It's 43 foot. It's only a foot and a half above the ground. It's mounted a foot and a half above the ground, and I got some radials in the ground, and it does a fantastic job. And it's not real expensive. It's easy to put up. It's easy to assemble. Doesn't take up any room, and it's just a great antenna. Over.
Okay, yeah, I'm trying to picture it. So 43 feet, I mean, that certainly doesn't sound resonant at 10 meters. That sounds something like you would use on 20 meters. So I'm just wondering, you say you've got radials in the ground as well. Do you have to use any form of matcher, like a Balun or an Unun or anything like that? You know, I can't imagine it being 50 ohms at the feed point, but I could be wrong. I'm a very lazy antenna man, Chuck. Back to you.
Roger, you're correct. I got an Unan, and it covers 10 to 160 meters. It's a multi-band, and I do use a tuner, but it'll tune down to 1.1 on about every frequency, which is great. Over.
Okay, yeah, I got you now. Now I understand what sort of antenna it is. I used to have a GP2500 multi-band vertical, but to be honest, Chuck, I actually found it not really workable at 10 or 12 meters. It was okay on the lower bands. It was okay sort of 15, 20, 17, and maybe even 40 meters below. It was quite deaf, but also above that it was quite deaf, so I didn't have it very long. I actually swapped it for a radio. I think I had a President Jackson that had been modified, and somebody wanted the radio, so I swapped it for that antenna, and it was quite an expensive antenna. It was the GP2500, and I think it might have been made by Comet, and it sounds very, very similar. There's quite a few of them that are marketed under HF360 and names like that, and I believe it was like that, but I just didn't have any success with it on 10 or 12 meters, so consequently I ended up ditching it and going back to my 5/8 wave vertical, which is fine on 10. I do use it on 12, and I use the radio's internal tuner for it on 12. But, you know, I mean, you can receive on it on lower bands. I mean, I've used it on 20 meters, I've used it 15 meters, and I've even used it on 40 meters. And really then it's just, you know, it's just a lump of metal that it does what it does. It's, you know, there was nothing special about it. But I'm really quite impressed that you're using one of those verticals at ground level with radials. And, yeah, it's working remarkably well. Back to you.
Roger. Yeah, I was really impressed when I got it. Get on the internet and type in 0 and the number 5 and look at him. He's a ham guy. He builds them. He's out of Chicago. They're real reasonably priced, and they're easy to install when you get them. You can have it up and going in about 15-20 minutes. Over.
Yeah, it sounds like a great antenna. And once again, a great antenna for multi-band use. Once again, if you've got limited size property, as you may or may not be aware, you know, here where we are, I'm in an urbanised area. You know, we're in a suburb of London, just on the edges of the county of Kent and Greater London. And of course, you know, the houses, I mean, I'm lucky, but my garden is 85 feet long. And if I take into account the length of my garage and, you know, my property, you know, my antenna could be well over 100 feet long. I do have, you know, a long wire antenna, a random long wire antenna that I use for the lower bands, and I use it quite well. It's 90 feet long, and it's inverted U, so it's got vertical components at each end. So consequently, you know, it's great on the lower bands, but that doesn't work very well on 10 or 12 meters either. So yeah, it sounds like, you know, you got an antenna that lots of people in this country could probably use if they like yours to great effect. I'm very impressed. Back to you.
Roger that. Yeah, just get on the internet and type in 0 of 5. And this one will lay down. You can lay it down in about 2 minutes by yourself. It's very well built. It's easy to install. You can't even hardly see it once you get it up. It's very, you know, so I love it. I was very impressed when I bought it. I still am. It impresses me every time I get on here. Over.
Yeah, I've just gone on to 05 antennas, and I see they've got lots of them. There's lots of information there to take in. I see the 10 to 80 metre ground plane vertical with unun, and I see the 10 to 40 metre ground plane vertical with unun. So I take it it's one of those two that you've got. And then I see below, I see more pictures, you know, with them mounted on literally 12-inch poles in the ground with lots of radials. So I'm assuming the one that you've got will be either the 10 to 40 metre ground plane or the 10 to 80 metre with ground plane. Back to you.
Hi, Roger. It's the 3-foot vertical. It'll be probably the last one. I think it's a 40. It's just labeled 43-foot vertical. Mine's about 1.5 feet off the ground, and you just take little wires and you actually put them in the ground, and just I got a plate that hooks to the pipe, and that makes them. It gives you a ground plane, and you can't see them. I got about 30 or 40 of them out there. That's 30, 40 foot long, and it works fantastic.
Yeah, I've just clicked on it. I've just seen the one that you're talking about now. The 43-foot, 10 to 160 metre multiband fold-over vertical antenna with unun. There you go. There's a description you'll never forget. And then, of course, there's lots of words below the photograph. So yeah, it looks very well made. Looks very impressive. The only problem is you could see in this country is the antenna. We get some winds in the winter, but sometimes they can be quite vicious, and I can see antennas getting folded over, because my 10 metre band 5/8 wave vertical, now that's 22 feet long, and it's just above the guttering of my 2-story house, and that in the winter starts to bend until it's got a pronounced curve in it. And what I do is every spring is I turn it around so that the last of the winter winds can bend it back through vertical. And to be honest, it's now taking on quite an S shape or a Z shape. You know, it's getting quite. I know eventually it will snap. You know, the aluminium will work harden, and then it will snap. So I can see that with that being 43 feet long, I can see that being being a problem in this country, or maybe not. Maybe I'm sort of, as they say, over egging the pudding. Maybe it wouldn't be so bad, but it's certainly impressive. I mean, I won't read all of this now because I'm talking to you, and that would be quite rude. But yeah, I'm glad you put me on to that, because I'm a very, very lazy antenna man, and although I probably wouldn't be in the market to buy one of these, it's certainly well worth looking at, and it's certainly a discussion point when I'm on a network, and maybe a 2 metre band network with my club. That sort of thing is something that we can discuss. But yeah, it's a good talking point there, Chuck. Back to you.
Hey, Roger. Well, I've had 80-mile-an-hour winds here, and it didn't bother this one at all. It's so well built that it doesn't bend up on the top 20 foot, but it doesn't hurt it. It pops right back up. So I'm like I said, everything about it, I'm impressed with it, and I love it. I think it's one of the best antennas that you can put up for what it is. I mean, it's not a big, but it's close.
Yeah, well, as I say, it looks impressive, and it looks very well made. I'm just looking at, the photographs of the fixings and fittings at the bottom, and it's not just something that's been thrown together by some amateur out to make a quick buck. It looks like there's been some thought put into it, but then at the end of the day, you get what you pay for, is what they say, But anyway, listen, Chuck, I know we're having a fantastic QSO. Your signal has dropped down to a 5 and 1, believe it or not, but you've still got some awesome audio coming across, and when you're not even moving the bar graph, it's absolutely a fantastic audio. But as I say, my daughter's just come in. She doesn't actually live with us. It's my daughter that she moved out a year ago, and she's got a few businesses, and one of them is close to me. So I take it that she's come from the business. She's come to visit her old dad, and I've sort of rushed downstairs, opened the door, and said, "I'm talking to someone." Rushed back up into the loft. and I best go down and see her because she did call out, yeah, well, I am your daughter. So there you go. So I'm going to go and say hello to Emily and make sure that she's all right. She obviously doesn't want anything important. She's just taking a break from work. But I best go down and see what she wants. I'll leave you with the frequency if you want to call, Chuck. But I tell you what, Chuck, I'm always on 10 and 12 metres CQing. And so if you hear me, just come in and say hello. And we'll talk antennas or anything else in between, you know. We'll talk antennas, we'll talk the world, we'll put the world right. But can I let you go now? As I say, I don't want to be rude and have her call out and say, I'm going now, Dad, and then I've got to rush out again. So I will go and say hello to her, tell her I love her and all that old nonsense, and then we'll pick it up another day. So it's been fantastic talking to you, but as I say, you know, like the bet is family before pleasure, as they say. So KD9ZBD, this is M0JCF, going to wish you 73, Chuck, and hand over to you for any final, and then I'll release the frequency if you need it, otherwise I'll release it for general use. So KD9ZBD M0JCF. Cheers, mate.
Hi, Roger there, Mark. Hey, it was a pleasure talking to you on this end. And I think propagation just stopped changing a little bit because you're dropping off also, but I still got a good copy. Hey, we had a great queue, so I look forward to talking to you again. I hang around down here on 10 also. I also go up to 20 quite a bit. I like 20 when 10's not, no propagation here, and I'll go up to 20. So you get down there and take care of your daughter and say hi to her and tell her I'm sorry for keeping you away from her and being patient with me. Hey, I'm going to say 73s, and you have a good one, and I hope to catch you again on the band. Kilo Delta 9, Zulu Bravo Delta. We'll be clear with you, Mark, on your final.
Yeah, cheers for that, Chuck. You know, if I tell my daughter that Chuck in sorry about that. Start again. If I tell her Chuck in Indiana, I think I wrote down Indiana. If I tell her Chuck in Indiana sends his best wishes and sorry for holding me up, she'll just roll her eyes and shrug her shoulders. And she's 28 years old. She's getting old, you know. She's getting old and curmudgeons. There you go. She's getting old and crotchety. But yeah, she'll just roll her eyes and shrug her shoulders. It's amateur radio and things like that have passed her, and I've got another daughter as well, slightly younger, have passed them by. You know, they don't get it. They think it's akin to somebody picking up a phone, dialing a random number and then just talking to random people. That's the way my daughters see amateur radio. My wife does as well. She sees it the same way. Having said that, my youngest daughter, I did get her into drag racing motorcycles for a few years. So never say never. You never know. I may get her into operating a radio. But I know which way I'd bet my money on that one. Best 73 to you, Chuck. And as I say, 10 and 12 metres is where you're going to be finding me really for the foreseeable future. Sometimes on 40 metres, but generally you'll find me on 10 and 12 CQing. But all the very best. Take care and good luck, old friend. Okay, Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie, Foxtrot is going QRT. This frequency is clear for use. This frequency is clear for use.